Happy Friday! Hey, pretties, we made it. Woohoo! I am so excited because this weekend is family weekend and we get to go see my daughter and spend the whole weekend with her. So we have lots of fun stuff planned out. And I have like the busiest day ever today leading up to that. So I'm going a little bit crazy, I'm not gonna lie. Like I looked at my calendar and I got calendar anxiety because every 15 minutes to half hour I have something different going on today. So wish me luck. It's gonna be a marathon kind of day and I still have to pack for the weekend. So excited for that. But today we are going to talk about skincare. Yay. I've gotten tons of questions through the years about what my skincare routine is. I haven't really talked much about it on GYPO. I've done a post here or there because I have the simplest skincare routine ever, and I feel like it's super boring. And I don't use fancy products. Everything I use, I can drive down the street and buy at Target because if I run out of something, I don't want to have to wait. A lot of times too, I will get things on Amazon. I can do the subscription, save 5%, get it delivered on a regular basis because I tend to use the same products long term. I have sensitive skin, not to the extent that it gets red or irritated or anything like that, but my skin does not like change at all. So I have to be really careful when I'm switching out products. If I'm not staying really consistent with them, my skin can freak out on me. And I start to get breakouts or I get dryness or patches of redness or things like that. It's not long term. It takes my skin usually about a week or two to adjust to a new product, but I don't switch them up much just simply because of that. And as a blogger, I get approached a lot about trying out different skincare routines and I turn them all down because I don't like to switch that up very much. So I'm going to talk to you today about products that actually work for me, not products that some company said, hey, will you do a sponsor post for? No, these are things that I have tried out over the years that have really worked. And first though, I'm going to talk to you about my routine. So about 10 years ago, I went to the dermatologist for the first time and talked to her. My skin was freaking out. I was having some hormone issues. I still tend to get hormone breakouts. Like I have some right now on this area of my chin. And I thought I was going to go in there and get some like magic bullet and she was going to say, oh, well, you need to do like this skincare program or, you know, this is going to work really well for you. But she didn't. She gave me some really good practical advice, which was awesome. And I've been using it for 10 years. She told me to use a gentle cleanser every day. And something that wouldn't strip my skin, something like Cetaphil, which I've used long-term in the past. I'm using something different now, but I'll explain why in a minute. And she said to make sure that I exfoliate once a week at least, that I'm using a moisturizer with an SPF on a daily basis, and that I'm using something with a retinoid as I age, because our skin cells do not turn over as fast, yay, and that's when our complexions start to get dull, which is where exfoliating also comes in really handy. So that is my simple 4-step plan that I have done for years and years. I'll talk to you about the products I use right now and how I use them, but it works for me and I get really good results from it. I don't really have many skin issues other than the occasional breakout. In the winter months, I do switch to a heavier moisturizer sometimes, simply because my skin's drier then from the dry heat, but in the summer months, I'm good with the one that I'm going to show you today. All right, so my first step is cleansing. And again, I use just a gentle cleanser. I've used Cetaphil for years. And I also like this one. It is Neutrogena Naturals, and it has a makeup remover in it. But it's super gentle, it doesn't dry my skin out, and it takes off my eye makeup, which I love. So that's why I switched to this one, because it does have the eye makeup remover in it, and it doesn't strip my skin, but it gets all the makeup off. So I love this one. I put a link, if you're watching this on Facebook, I have links to the products in the product description. Sometimes I get this at Target, sometimes I order it on Amazon. It just depends on whether I'm able to wait for it to get delivered or not. All right, so the second step is exfoliating. And I don't have my exfoliator right now. I go back and forth between two products. I have the St. Ives Apricot Scrub, which is a little bit of a harsher exfoliator. And if you have sensitive skin, you might want to do a sugar scrub or something that's going to be a little bit more gentle or not as abrasive. And I also love and use Rock's Daily Resurfacing Discs. And they come pre-soaked in a cleanser. I just pull one out of the little bucket when I'm in the shower and use those once or twice a week. You can use them daily if you want to. I don't need to do it that often, but they also do a really good job of just exfoliating the skin surface and helping cell turnover and giving your skin a nice glow. So if you're not exfoliating yet, I highly, highly recommend it, especially if you're over 40, because our skin cells just are not doing the trick like they used to. Okay, so next up, I mentioned that my dermatologist told me to use a retinoid, especially since I'm over 40. And I've done prescription retinoids before. They were very irritating at first. I had a lot of redness, some flaking, irritation, and dryness. So I had to experiment around with that. My skin did eventually get used to it, but it just wasn't, it was too drying for me. So I did some research on some over-the-counter products to see what was most effective. And this stuff is a miracle worker for me. It is Rock Retinol Correction Deep Wrinkle Night Cream. I use about a pea-sized amount of this every night of my life. I apply it all over my face. I put some down my neck. I use it around my eyes, which is something you may have to work up to. This is gentler than the prescription strength, but it's been just as effective for me. I notice a huge difference when I'm using this. And it takes about 6 to 8 weeks for it to really start to make a difference. So you have to stick with it. But once you do, you will love it. It makes a big difference. It helps with wrinkles. It helps with my skin surface looking more glowy. I just love this product. And this is something too that you kind of have to work your way up to. So at first you may want to use it every other day if it's irritating your skin. And I always work up to using it around my eyes because that skin is a lot more sensitive around there. So they also make an eye product. I haven't tried it yet, so I can't speak to it, but I think it's a little bit gentler than this one if you want to do that one around your eyes instead. And I think it also has some extra ingredients in it for, you know, dark circles and puffiness and things like that. But I use this consistently. Sometimes I take a break in the summer months. If I'm going to be out in the sun, retinol and sun exposure do not go well together. Excuse me. And although I wear an SPF every day, excuse me, I still am a little bit more careful in the summer months when I'm using that. So I take a break from it sometimes, and I'll stop using it for about a month or so. And then I notice my skin's like, something's different here. It's not looking as good as it used to. And then I start using it again, and it takes another 6 to 8 weeks for it to kind of kick in. But I highly recommend it if you have not used that yet. All right, so last step. Every day I wear this, rain or shine. It is Garnier Skin Active Clearly Brighter Broad Spectrum SPF 30 Anti-Sun Damage Daily Moisturizer. And I believe this also has some vitamin C in it, so it helps if you've got dark spots. It helps to lighten those up and brighten your skin. Again, it gives my skin a nice glow, makes it look healthy. And I like that it has SPF 30 in it, but it's not at all cakey or chalky like some sunscreen ingredients can be. It absorbs really quickly. This is not a heavy moisturizer. It's a lighter one, but I have combo skin. Sometimes I get a little bit oily and through this area and a little dry on my cheeks. And this works really well if you have combo skin because it's not too heavy, yet it moisturizes enough. And I love that it has an SPF in it. I do wear a heavier SPF of 50, I believe, in my makeup. So this is nice, you know, just on the days when I'm around the house and not really going outside too. But yeah, this has been my moisturizer, my go-to for quite some time. In the winter months, I do switch it up to something a little bit heavier. I use IT Cosmetics Confidence in a Cream whenever I want a little bit more moisture than this one provides. But I do love this one and how quickly it absorbs into my skin. So that is it. That's my simple 4-step routine. It's not fancy. Again, I can drive to Target and get any of these products when I run out, which is really high on my list. I don't want to have to you know, go to the big mall. I know I sound like a country girl. I sort of live a little ways away from any big malls with a Sephora or anything like that. Although we do have an Ulta that's about 12 minutes away. Yes, I have it calculated. It's 12 minutes. But we're getting one in our little town, so I'm excited about that. All right, so anyway, if you have some skincare products that you would love to share with us, I always want to hear recommendations, and we'll be benefiting your fellow pretties as well. So please leave them in the comments if you're on Facebook, DM me if you're on Instagram. And again, I've linked up these products if you want to check them out for yourselves. I hope you guys have an awesome weekend, and I will see you back here on Monday. Bye.